welcome to a little bonus stream. Should probably set this up in the correct manner. Anyway, yeah, I thought to myself, we might as well do a friendly or two. I have some time on my hands. No promises about the length of this stream, but I'll probably get through some friendlies if I can. And also take my time with some of the other stuff. So, last time out, we had our last league match prior to the break against PSM. We won that one. And afterwards we had a nice little friendly against PSIS, which is a second league club. We won that 4-0, so well, I'm okay with that. These two are really small clubs, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, they're non-league clubs. So we should win those pretty easily. And then there's Priscilla. Hi, welcome to the stream. And hope you have a good time and a nice Sunday. Well, Priscilla is that's a League 1 club, so this friendly will be a bit harder, I guess. And afterwards, the league games will continue. So for today, it's most likely friendlies only. Yeah, if we get through all of them, I don't know yet. Looking at dynamics, I just opened that prior to the stream. The stuff with the unhappy players needs to be resolved, and the contrasting personalities, that's not that great, isn't it? So maybe we can find something to do there in terms of mentoring, or just, as I see, Infantry and Pranata declined. They're no longer considered leaders, which is fine with me. We just need to promote the other two to be leaders here. And they still have some way to go until they get into highly influential territory and so on. Yeah. Also, the social groups are, I mean, they're probably getting a little bit better. But Cesar, for example, will not be integrated into the club long term as a 31-year-old. If he's able to keep his current shape for another year or two, or maybe even 5, I will definitely be okay with him being integrated. But there's other players like Yulianto. He has good jumping range. He also did play from time to time, not that much though. Development, barely any. So, given that he's a low knee too, I will not pay 65k for him. Same with Hillman. He barely played and we don't really need him. And for some reason Tambuni is still in a secondary group. Tambuni is one of those that I expect to be integrated into a core social group at some point. Being vice captain too, he'll probably get there. Halim, well, hard to tell, given that he's a balanced personality. Hi, welcome to the stream. Let me know what brings you here and if you have a nice Sunday. I'm actually hoping that you have a nice Sunday, obviously. Yeah, it's a similar story with Arianto. I'm kind of glad that they are in a social group with somebody that might be a positive influence on them from the personality perspective. On the other hand, there's so many tutors here. It's called mentoring these days. There's mentors in here. And the central defenders here, they are in some sort of balanced, fairly determined group, which is not a good personality overall. So preferably, I would love to have I don't know, some sort of 28-year-old that was at least fairly professional, to give him a nudge into the right direction. But it's just not on the market as far as I'm aware. Sure. Let's clear this for a second and just assume that we can find somebody. with a decent personality, but there's not a single professional player here. No model pros, no model citizens. There's a few fairly pros. Cool. With notable weaknesses. And players like these, I don't know, bringing them into the club and hoping that they develop at some point, it's barely worth it, isn't it? I guess he could be a candidate for the under-21s though. Come to think of it. But I mean, we do not think he has great potential, so probably not. Also, I was talking about a central defender, so this is the best I can do. And I mean, 4 points of pace is really not worth talking about. There might be other personalities that are very interesting to us. I don't know, Resolute or something. Where is it? Oh, we know of at least one candidate. A Resolute 19-year-old, that's actually a steal. Come to think of it. Now, we have a lot of ball-winning midfielders and stuff in our club, but assuming... Oh, the compensation is a bit on the high side, yeah. But assuming we can get him for free at some point, I would do that. So, well, I guess that's that. But in general, I feel like the long-term prospect of this save is actually much more interesting to me than the results in the short term. We managed to reshape this squad to a degree. We really have a... Where's Mbiri? Here. Bayo Mbiri is a really great prospect for the future, given that he's a 16-year-old and he's a top goal scorer right now. So we just can't overdo it with him. We cannot overplay him due to medical reasons. I don't want to change this. So preferably he can play on like this for another 5 years, and then we sell him on for all he's worth at this point, or maybe even he can just stay with the club and go with us into Asian Champions League or something. I've never done that, so that would be really interesting. But it's a long-term prospect, and you know how it is. The next Football Manager iteration will release at some point, so yeah. We do have the transfer of Arianto, which we wrapped up last episode. So that will also change the face of the squad long term, given that we got an 18-year-old that is a fairly professional as a left back. That has some nice potential in him, at least, you know, we assume. Hopefully we'll ride with that, but who knows. So I'm hoping for reasonable development here in Indonesia, and also for reasonable results in the league, as a matter of consequence. Especially on the left-back side, I think this is also a really important transfer. It's a bit of a risky one, because Arianto is prone to injury. To a degree, I think it was above average or something. That's bad. But... where is he? Still a low knee, but we will bring him in. What I very much like about him is that his notable weakness is off the ball movement and dribbling, and that's it. More or less. And as an 18-year-old, the rest of his attribute sample is okay for our league level. Sure, the physicals could be better, and, you know, so on and so forth. But he's okay. And for someone being okay at that age, I'm willing to pay. I probably overpaid for him. On the other hand, we do not have anyone that can play in this position next season. Utama is absolutely in decline. It's way too late for him. At this stage in his career, he should go to for coaching. In fact, we should probably discuss that with him. Or not. But a 33-year-old fullback / wingback, he's got really great passing and mentals, but the physicals are absolutely devastating. So we will play him from the bench from time to time, but probably not the first team any longer if it's not absolutely needed. And I think his agreed playing time is squad player. So yeah. At the end of the season, we will probably need to sell him. Or just let him go. When does the season end? Yeah, we just let him go, right? At the end of the season. That's probably the way it works. He might make the 15 appearances though. And there's a contract clause here. So we want to make sure that he doesn't make those. In other words, Arianto plays as long as he can. If we do not risk injuring him or something. So there's that. Oh yeah, we're still trying to buy that center back here. With 6 points of jumping range for some reason. Because he went down into League 2 and he's unhappy with his current club. We'll cancel that. I don't want to pay too much for a central defender right now. On one hand, I want to be ambitious and trying to aim for, say, a better league position in League 1. On the other hand, I'm really thinking of bringing in bargains. And about the long-term financial prospect of the club. So a 23-year-old is probably not good business. It might be to stabilize, but not necessarily here. And I'd rather have somebody with a really great personality. And we do have players that fulfill that that gap, I guess. I also thought about Negro prior to launching the stream. I thought to myself, well, he doesn't develop at all. And he's 22. So I guess I like the attribute distribution overall. The off-ball movement is absolute rubbish though. But he's also... So from my perspective, this is a weakness, given that we want to play him as a playmaker, the passing and the vision. So that has to improve. Come to think of it, what's with Malte Eggman? Just for funsies. He's with TG right now. And his contract runs out. So assuming he didn't break all of his legs previously, which he didn't, I'm really interested in signing this guy. And we should still be part of his favorite personnel, we don't know. But I don't think he wants to come to Indonesia. But that would be a really great signing. A foreign player though, so we'd have a problem there again. But that's one of those that can play the killer ball on a repeated basis. And just be successful with it. Even though his vision and off-the-ball movement are, at this point, they're probably 9-ish. So not that great, but, you know, 14, 15 points of passing and technique and first touch are just wonderful. So in this league level, he would probably absolutely dominate. In particular, given that with Cesar, we have somebody with a strong physical prowess. And with Mbiri, somebody that's just friggin' fast. So, long wall, target man, lay it off for the Shadow Striker, goal. Or waste of a chance, usually with Mbiri, but he's top goal scorer for a reason. And he will get better and better given that he's 16 years old. Even if he doesn't, he's okay for League One. First of all, we will play a friendly though, and this is just about match sharpness, so we'll play whoever is not sharp. Which in this case is probably Walsh, 35-year-old substitute for the target man position that we cannot play due to foreign player rules. Yeah, it was a bad transfer on my behalf. I also think we should probably have skipped some of the extensions of the contracts. On the other hand, we were really low on players overall. And in particular, we could use some Indonesian players that do not have to adhere to some sort of limitations on the foreign player rule basis. We also need, I think, just younger players in general. I think there's some sort of league rule about this. I would need to have a look there. Yeah. So much for the current state of the club. Also, we are 250k in the red, as far as I'm aware. So that cannot last. But I just spent another 50k. Well, in case any of you watch this now or later on, let me know what you think of the state of the club, or how's your day? How are you doing? This will probably take another 5 minutes to process. Also, the Hearts of Iron 3 series that I did will release an additional episode, and the last one too, this evening. Still thinking about doing some sort of lessons learned there. I'm not sure how to structure it though, and I'm seriously considering that I might probably forget half of it. So I don't want to do that. Usually you have some ideas, and then we were out for a walk today, and I came up with others, and I gotta do some sort of presentation for that, which is no big deal actually. I should be perfectly capable to do some sort of presentation, but it will probably not contain that much gameplay footage in that situation, so I don't know. Then again, there's YouTubers that do nothing but presentations, so I guess might as well give it a try. Well, if we finally get to the 31st of August, 2030, then we can watch the match. Looking at this stuff down here, well, some of the players need the match practice, and some of these are even these are first team players like Cesar. Putra not so much. Yulianto though might play the first team from time to time. Haryanto the same. Malik just returned from injury, so that's definitely one of those that needs to be on the pitch from time to time. I don't think I want to play Sima Tupang all the time. There might some be in the first team right now that really need it. I'm also contemplating a next YouTube series still. I talked about that on the... he doesn't want to come. Well, that's sad. Maybe he wants to come after he's getting released for some reason. There's probably no reason though. Let's have a look at their training performances. This is the wrong menu. Well, it might be the right menu, but... Imbiri, still training like a beast. Arianto, still training very well. Even Ari trains well. I very much like that. In his future job as an inside forward, though, he's absolute rubbish. I don't know why we do that. He would be... where is he? Here's Ari. He would need to play inside forward on a support duty. Does that suit him? Why not? No long shots whatsoever though. So I guess vision and passing is really important, yes. He plays no through balls apparently. We know that that's a lie. Considering, well, okay, he had 2 assists here and 1 assist in the league. So I guess he rarely plays through balls, still. He has a hard time at adapting to the role, I think. Not sure what to do with him. He's not much better as an inverted winger or something. I would be okay with him playing another role out there. Well, obviously not winger. This doesn't look better, does it? Well, it does not. It does not include the balance, but it does include the crossing instead. And his crossing is so bad, so bad. So we might as well teach him to be inside forward or inverted winger on a support duty. I don't know. He is sharp enough though, so to put Ferdianze on the pitch is probably not the dumbest idea that I ever had. Simon Owen is not match fit. That cannot be. We do need Cesar to be match fit, so Marty can be on the bench for this match. Yeah, neither the ability nor the potential, that's true. We cannot play Walsh, so he's strictly as a replacement purpose on the bench. I don't think Infantry is our first choice due to his behavior in the club, and Haryanto can't be on the pitch, or is Vantoro. None of these are under heavy load, so that's good. Tabuni is definitely our primary choice in comparison to Negro. Same with Sukipto. Who else? Arianto needs some match practice apparently. Losing sharpness. Nico, Negro, none of these are really that important. Okay, so that should do. And we'll try to, this is an away game, but we should try to dominate this match, I think. So we'll try to do some possession-based attacking, whatever football, and have a look if we can score a goal or 5. And then we'll just do the same next week. Just keep the squad somewhat sharp. Preferably have some attribute development. I'm not sure if this is possible. We should probably also adapt the training here. This is rubbish. Well, that's my biggest gripe with all of these breaks. If you do not play competitive matches in these breaks, it's entirely useless. You might as well send the players out on doing nothing on holiday, but then they return being entirely not match fit, not sharp, and probably also in a condition that is not good. So sometimes I actually think I should send them for recovery. Just home for a week. If there's a 4-week break, for example, just send them home for a week and then do some additional preparation later on. But it doesn't work that way. So they come out of competitive matches. They gain some experience there, just like in a role-playing game, because it's basically just like in a role-playing game. Well, it is a role-playing game, so whatever. Even if you do not want to accept it, it is from that perspective. And the character progression is tied to the experience on the pitch in competitive matches. So they need to spend that experience, preferably right after they played these competitive matches. Which is, we have a hard time with that throughout the season anyway, because there's so much match preparation training and no attribute training. Now, we finally have the opportunity to give them some attribute training after the competitive matches prior to this break. So for 1 or 2 weeks, this is totally fine. And afterwards, it's more about the sharpness, because they do not have any experience to spend anymore. So we're just hoping to keep them as sharp as possible for them not to decline. So it's basically an opportunity to increase attributes a little bit and then fighting against a decrease, and then hoping for a good start for the remainder of the season. And it's just so weird. If friendlies would give any experience at all, we might as well use this for additional development or something. But the way it is right now, we really can't. The break's too long. Yeah, well, sure. So we will give the right back some time here. It's Malik, Hillman, and Matupang. Why not? Did I mention that I should change this? I think I did. Like, at least 1 time, maybe 2. I didn't though. I didn't do it. Also here. This will not do. Physical training right after the friendly, that's a sure way to make sure somebody gets hurt. What do you mean? You ran around the pitch for 90 minutes or plus, and you are entirely devastated and now you cannot lift. What's the problem with that? So far, this happens if you do a Twitch stream out of your regular schedule. So far, none of the regular showed up, I think. Well, they will probably have to watch this later on. That, or I need to change the game. But not today. Well, I might. Let's just play Baldur's Gate 3 like everyone else does. A good game though, as far as I can tell. Okay. Yeah, he recovered recently. He had some sort of minor injury. A tight thigh. And Malik is recommended to be used 45 minutes max. We wouldn't want to use him much more anyway. Malik is a weird situation. He's a loanee. And we can buy him for 60k. And 60k is really expensive for him, I think. That said, looking at this, we bought Arianto for more. Well, we didn't, but it's somewhat comparable. Malik is a spirited guy, so this is a good personality. Media handling is fine. What isn't fine is his training. And susceptibility to injuries. Okay, this is high due to recent injury. We don't know for sure. But in comparison to Arianto, I mean, he's okay. He's not great. He's 21 though, so he's 3 years older. He doesn't develop much. He has a similar personality that is okay for the squad. It's not like I want to get rid of him. I would probably loan him in for an additional time or give him a contract once we do not have to pay a fee for signing him. But we're into the weird situation where I don't really think he will develop much going forward, even though he's 21. So he will develop a little bit, but resale value, if we pump in 100k to buy this player, I don't see any. I really don't see any. And he's a good player for League 2 sides, it says here, and there's a potential to be a League 1 right back. Sure. There's also the potential that he will never get there. In Arianto's case, I see that very differently. Okay. So we will do the positive formation. The opposition will play a 4-2-3-1. Is there anything in particular that stands out here, other than them being in really bad morale? And having bad attributes, apparently. His dribbling is rubbish. Well, this person we can probably close down and show to the wrong foot, and that's about it. Because being left-footed, being shown to the inside would result in Dodi Yoga using his superior vision of 3 points, or his passing of 6. Or even the long shots or the finishing, which is all bad. I don't want to tackle him hard. 5 points of dribbling are bad, but not bad enough. We know jack shit about this guy. Probably a great art player. Doesn't matter much, and he's right-footed only, so let's show him to the left, show him to the inside too. Which results in, again, in really bad long shots, really bad passing, really bad vision, and finishing. So, triggering the press on him too. These two, one of these does have some passing, hopefully. Apparently not. So this guy has 3 points passing. A whole whopping 3 points as a midfielder. He's a central defender, that explains something. Is there any midfielder in this team? This guy has 7 points of passing. He's a casual though. I have no idea what they did to this team. This composition seems useless. So anyway, let's be wary. This guy's a better passer of the two. Pains me to say this. So we mark him tightly. His dribbling is 1-2. His composure is bad. He's a bad passer. We foul him off the pitch. His dribbling is not much better. His passing is even worse. So we close him down. No hard tackling though, due to 11 points of strength and 10 points of jumping reach, and really, it's just a friendly. We do not specifically play somewhere. I think going down the wings is probably a good idea. Let's have a look again. Hartunu Saputra. I mean, that's really good tackling. Positioning is okay-ish. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a weakness. Neither here. They're both a bit slow. Let's put it that way. But then again, the entire team has some weaknesses here and there. Are you serious? Isha is really weird. So his opponent is physically stronger? Let's have a look at that again. Oh, they changed formation. Not that it matters much. His opponent would be the defensive midfielder. I cannot accept that. I think we need to win this. This is against a third league team or whatever it is. So I will be kind and I will encourage them to put on a good performance, but everybody seems to be pleased or inspired for some reason. I don't know why. This is an away game if I'm not mistaken. And they barely have the substitutes to put everyone on the bench at some point. That's the thing I was looking for. We can rotate heavily though. In case somebody gets a knock or something, we'll take them off immediately. Okay. There's a corner taken by Simatupang. Not much happened there. Also an interesting scene. Seems like comprehensive highlights is very comprehensive all of a sudden. That's a long ball by Arianto. Isha wins the header. Sukipto, Moody. That's some sort of killer ball. Cesar was a little bit late with the shot. Or might as well have taken a run or something. Didn't happen though. And Isha apparently finds his playmaking skills. Weird passing. Good ball by Arianto for Yancia. That should be an easy one. It isn't! Did we instruct him to cross like this? Under any circumstance? No, we didn't. He found his target, and to be fair, the header was a good idea. Cesar is a good header after all. In this situation though, he should probably have taken the low pass and just tapped it in. 2 great chances on goal. One hit the post, and one hit the hands of the keeper. That's well defended so far. Nah, we nearly won that ball. That's an error on defense by Simatupang, and they get off their first shot, which is blocked. So it was a low-grade chance anyway. But in particular being blocked doesn't matter much. Please, Owen, just distribute it in a short manner. Exactly, like this. Great. Tabuni finds a nice long ball for Ferdianzia, who dribbles through midfield, which is not his job as a winger. Sukipto. Isha. It's something. It's really taking the crowbar and going through the middle. But seemed to work, so who am I to judge? That's not a good idea, that header. It's offside. Still, that situation is a bit concerning. This stuff shouldn't happen. We have some light rain here. Arianto's cross, Isra wins the header, Ferdianzia. Arianto again. Arianto. Isra doesn't win the header. Ball ends up with Tabuni. That's a wonderful ball. Well defended though. Moody's out on the wing. Tries to cut back inside and forgets the ball. Well done. So Kipto has a decent game so far. Tabuni with yet another long ball. Moody, not in. Well, that's what friendlies are for. In Moody's case though, I do not expect much development. That's it. An effort was made, I guess. Arianto finds Tabuni, Ferdianzia. Nobody's there to help Ferdianzia, so he runs on his own out on the wing. Arianto, Tabuni. Good pass. Sukipto smashes the crossbar. Wow. Sukipto's... What is his long shots? Sukipto's long shots is... Well, it's one. It's a friggin' 1 point. So this is probably the best long shot he ever knocked off. Even though it just hit the crossbar. It was the right occasion though. 10 shots in 18 minutes though. That's okay. Giulianto, Ariando. That's what playing out of defense looks like, yes. Don't do the long ball. Cesar. Isha doesn't win. Well, he nearly won the ball back. He didn't win the duel up front. Arianzia. Saputra. That's not a long ball. That is intercepted. I think it was Isha that put his body in between the two. So that's very interesting. Ferdianzia. Arianto. Will Isha win that one? Nope. Ferdianzia again. Tabuni. Tabuni's cross. Cesar. Okay, at some point he needs to score. The league is interesting, and welcome to the stream, Bravo. The question is a bit unspecific, so I'm trying to ask in a more broader sense. The league is interesting because the level of attribute required is not that high. On the other hand, there's some money to be made in this league. In particular, the cup competition that went on prior to the start of the season. Indonesia is really interesting. And we are in the middle of the league right now, even though we got promoted, well, recently. So it's not like it's not one of these situations here in Indonesia where if you get promoted, you need to get rid of the entire team because all of them are rubbish all of a sudden for the league that you will get in. In this case, the club has fine players, or had players that are fine for the league. And from that perspective, it's very interesting. Because there's no... this sharp break, isn't there? Well, I don't know how you do it, but I would not be able to do 22 seasons in one installment of Football Manager. I would probably move on into the next installment. I just can't skip through matches that fast. I guess the secret is to go through seasons on a higher pace, but I barely do that. So congratulations on winning the Chinese League though after 30 seasons. And in Wales, we got fired. I tried to find something in Wales, but I was overdoing the restructuring of the club and so on. It just didn't work. Here we got lucky so far. I know that situation more from not getting promoted though. Sometimes it's really just about 1 point or about goal difference even. Yeah, well it did. And we brought one of the incapable ones. Well, actually we brought 2 players over in the end. Moody and Owen. Moody is a model citizen that just doesn't develop at all. And Owen is a professional goalkeeper that is okay, and actually he develops a little bit. So, but we brought him in more for the personality than for being first team member all the time. That said, his performances have been okay-ish so far. So we play him from time to time. Moody, same. There's just no goal scoring to be had here. And now, do we face a counter? Don't tell me we face a counter-attack. Okay. That's all there is so far. Let's encourage the team a little bit. Expected goals is 1.36. Arianto intercepts, which is good. Cesar is not there to pick up that ball, which is bad. And this should be offside. Did I mention that this should be offside? Apparently the referee doesn't think so. So we gave away a nice chance. That was put above goal though. Yesha, Arianto. Good ball, definitely not offside. Ferdiancia, is there anyone in the middle? Yes, there is. Ferdiancia again. It doesn't get into the back of the net. They're trying to carry it in, apparently. Ferdiancia's free kick, Cesar's header. Puts it past the post. You shouldn't believe that these are capable goal scorers in this situation. They are though. I don't know what's going on. Luckily this is only a friendly. In Indonesia, well, at least so far, it's much better that. The problem is the foreign player rules, really. I don't know, are there foreign player rules in India too? Probably there are. So, Indonesia is weird from... Finally! Cesar with the goal, just prior to the halftime break. But let me elaborate on that league stuff. for a while. So Indonesia is weird in two senses. First of all, you have 3 foreign player slots in the first league, that is. If you go down, these go away. You can only play foreign players in the cup competition. So that's not great. And well done by Isha. And the other thing is, so I don't want to be an asshole about it, but Indonesian players are really small in general. So you get central defenders that have 6 points of jumping reach. And these are top-notch material. There are other players available, but they are rare. And it's really rare to find somebody that has 10 or 11 points of jumping reach, even as a central defender. As a result, if you find a striker, so for example a foreign player, like this Brazilian here, with 14 points of jumping reach and 12 points of strength, all of a sudden you have a way to force yourself in. And so this is our basic concept right now. On the other hand, everybody's really fast. So it's not like you can just ignore the way they do strikers here. And most of the strikers are perfectly capable to do some, say, 10 to 14 points acceleration pace and running. The central defenders, though, if you bring them in with reasonable jumping reach, they aren't. What the fuck, Isha? Seriously? Don't do that to me. Well, in the end we can be happy with the chances created. Expected goals is totally on our side. So I'm more or less okay with that. We should have a look at the condition in the second half. They made a substitution. Do we want to look at Cray? Let's have a look at Cray. Who's Cray anyway? Oh, a midfielder. Okay. What are you doing? If that fits your tactic, that's totally fine. We don't know. We know jack shit about this guy, so... yeah, if it fits your tactic, why not? That was one of these situations where we can clearly see that the central defenders need to be a bit faster or have better positioning or whatever. He lost the duel and the running, he might have lost that duel too. Also, Sima Tupang is on a yellow card and his performance has been spotty. Isha wins that header. Arianto for Diancia doesn't go all the way down the left. That's boring. I'm okay with that. Arianto's long ball. Cesar wins the header. Sukipto. Tabuni. There's the killer ball. What a ball. We have to talk to our striker. That was a really nice scene. Overall. Tabuni. Is this offside? It probably is, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, so given that this is offside, and we have 50 minutes played, Isha's a bit tired. Imbiri is not... He does not need to play necessarily. I thought about substituting Cesar too. Just... On the other hand, he needs some match practice, so let's go to 60 minutes with him. And I'm also thinking about substituting Sima Tupang. His replacement should be... Where is he? Malik. Malik is not... He doesn't have high sharpness right now, so maybe let's put Malik on the pitch after 55 minutes. Where is he? Yeah. Let's put Malik on the pitch. The other one's had a yellow card anyway. Who else needs some time on the pitch? I guess Walsh. It's not like I really need to play Walsh. I can't. Isha could do with a replacement. We might try Sumardi. He's rubbish though. What? That seems buggy to me, yes. So I don't know. Did you open the ticket with SI or something? Maybe they can fix it. On the other hand, we are in August 23, so knowing as Sports Interactive, they will not fix anything prior to the release of Football Manager 2024. And you know how it is. Football Manager 2024 will probably contain half of the bugs that were in 23 at the start. And then they will fix them all over again. Sometimes I really wonder how they do software deployment. Or not deployment in their case, just version control. Their version control sometimes feels really weird to me. Yeah. Oh, well, let's put on Imbiri, right? Everyone else can play a little bit. I guess Nugro needs to play too. Tabuni had a good game. I don't want to hurt him. What? That seems like broken database stuff to me. Do you do lots of modding, or is this just the default database that is rubbish? Okay. So there's no competition for this? Should be configured. I don't know. It should be default available as a default after all, right? Well, in that case, the default database is really bad. I wasn't aware. So in case I ever qualify for some sort of what was it in this case? World Cup. On the other hand, I rarely do international competitions and stuff. So maybe that's why I don't know about it. Good passing by Mbiri. See, this is why I'm excited about a 16-year-old. What a scene. He set it up by himself. Takes on at least 3 players. So Kipto just puts the pass past the defense and Mbiri just taps it in. No complaints. Really. Absolutely no complaints. If Mbiri can do this throughout the entire season, we will definitely not get relegated. Well, fingers crossed for your sake. But you will find a national job somewhere. The only question is what it is and if you're happy with it. But usually if you take it... You think so? So this is not about this about Mbiri after all. It's about the bad goalie, right? Well, if you want to put it that way, I can live with that. That's fine. You probably have a point. Is there anyone else here that needs to play? I guess Marty can make an appearance. He's left-footed, so I don't know. He can't replace Moody. Anyone else? Isvan Toro. Well, we'll bring him on as a central defender, just because we can. Hillman or Pranata. So Pranata is an easy one. Let's let him play for Owen. And Utama can probably play for Arianto. Anyone left? Eco. I will not play Eco for Ferdiancia. That doesn't make much sense. Hillman, we just had a talk about him. So I guess Ari it is. Playing for Ferdiancia. There are? Well, maybe I should have signed some players that have some decent long shots goals. That have some decent long shots attributes, sorry. Kinda confused. Also, you can probably tell this is not my primary language. So sometimes phrasing and words evade me. In these situations, I'm rarely aware of what to do. With the shouts here. So from the results perspective, we can be happy. But nobody on the pitch, with the exception of Mbiri, contributed anything to this. So should we praise them? In fact, let's do this. We will praise them based on the result. So most of these came on like 5 seconds ago. I'll try to praise them. Wait a second. No positive reaction. So at least seen from that perspective. You really do? Does it work? Like, if you berate them all the time. I do this if they go down by 2 goals. Then I start to berate them, and actually it works. Sometimes. What a bad pass by Nugroho, by the way. This is our playmaker. To be fair, it's a substitute playmaker, still. And now Valim will take along whatever that was. Infantry, Walsh, infantry. That's not a bad... Just look at Mbiri. Next ball of the defender and lobs it past goal. So close. What a scene though. This is what Mbiri can do. If only his finishing were any better than 7 points. I'm kinda glad that I started this stream today, so this is out of schedule for me, and it's just friendlies, so it's not like it matters much, but it definitely contributes to a good mood for me, so I'm happy with that, and I'm glad somebody's here to share it with me. We had, I'm trying to come up with the name, Anton Ishak, I think it was. That was a striker that had 4 points of finishing. His physicals were absolutely mental though. Was this with Yidderhawk Dolls or was this with Tafswell? I'm not sure anymore. Probably Yidderhawk Dolls, given the name. And I barely played him, to be honest. And he didn't have great performances. So there was this season where he sat on the bench for basically all the time. We used him as a substitute striker and he barely made an appearance and barely contributed. Well done, Pranata. I expected as much though. But in his case, there was this one game where we needed to start him. We didn't have a choice, so we started him. And he banked in 3 goals within the first 15 minutes, I think. And one of those goals was basically him tackling another player in the middle of the pitch and then running all the way through midfield, all the way through the opposition defense and just routinely tapping it in. After being faced with 5 or 6 different opposition players. I was really annoyed by that. Just because he could have done that in much more important situations. No, he chose to do it all in one match, scoring a hat-trick in 15 minutes. And afterwards, that was it. He didn't contribute for the remainder of his career with us. Quite contrary to Samardi, who... This is an under-21 player. And apparently he wants to play in the first team at some point. Because he scored 2 goals in the last match, which was a friendly. And there's an additional header here. To be fair, the opponent's player did help with his foot. But I guess this counts as Samardi's goal. So, yeah. I like his personality, not his attribute sample though. Here's Vantoro, Malik. Will this be another cross? Is Vantoro towards Ari? Not today. Walsh is complacent already. Oh, should we care? Not really. In the end, it's a 3-0. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't any good. Easy one to intercept. Nugroho, Halim, Ari. With his 4 points of passing, Nugroho with his 8. Halim again, and that's about it. If Imbiri is not offside. He is though. Also, his header was as expected for a player of his size and his age. Infantry wins the header and heads it straight towards the only person that results in any danger. Well, so let's have a look. Seems like we defended that one well. In the end, the result seems okay, given the expected goal story. Oh, come on. Don't tell me that this is a yellow. And something to do for Pranata. Last free kick of the match. Nugroho. That's it. So we can be okay with that overall. 3-0. I would prefer the result to be a bit more decisive, I think. He probably is. I should have a look at mine too. I think we're fluent in some weird languages too. I'm okay with this. The biggest problem now is complacency, I think. Also, I still didn't change the training. I kept ranting on about changing these physical sessions. I'm not sure what's going on in the back of my head. Probably not much. Welsh and Chinese. So in our case, it should be manager is Serbian. It should be Serbian, Italian. Just because this is the heritage of the manager. It should be English. It should be. I don't know if he knows Welsh. Maybe he does. Should be Swedish because we managed like 5 seasons there, and it should be whatever they talk in Indonesia. Let's see. That's quite a bunch. Italian, for some reason German. What? We never managed in Germany. So, I'm from Germany, by the way, but I didn't give him that language. So apparently German, Serbian. Will managers die in Football Manager at some point? Will you be forced to manage their sons? Is this something that happens? Croatian and Bosnian, okay, I can see that. So Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian, Macedonian, yeah, okay. Swedish makes sense. English, sure. Slovenian, okay. And there's Bahasa Indonesia. So I guess we're getting there. Scouting knowledge though is weird. It maxes out at 100 and then what happens afterwards? Is the manager just repeatedly at 100 without aging anymore? So he's basically he's the manager's transforming into a vampire, is what you tell me. I told you this was a role-playing game. It's way too hot today. Just stays at 100. Okay. Well, what did I expect? It's SI after all, right? They're famous for complex simulations that work pretty well. Well, just one. And all of the ridiculous bugs that are in it. That just can't seem to get fixed. In this case, I mean, somebody could have come up with a solution to that. Within the last 20 years or how old this series is. Yeah, and then they carry the chart to the matches. Just like in Futurama. You're spending some time as some sort of Nixon's brain. Well, it's just the heads. Well, in Futurama it's the heads, not the brains. So, I don't know. It might work just as in Futurama, it might as well work just as in Baldur's Gate and Dungeons and Dragons, who knows? Is this actually depicted in the game then? Probably not. If you cross the age of 80, the manager brings some walking stick to the matches. That would be really great. No, I think it would be really great if managers just died in Football Manager. Just for, how do I put this? To put some pressure on it, and also this opinion is derived from pen and paper role playing actually. So the death of a character in role playing is never a great thing to happen to the player. In particular, if you spend like, I don't know, say you spend 5 years in very many different pen and paper role-playing sessions, and you're really familiar with your character and you love it. But if that character never gets a chance to go off in some sort of scene that is important for this thing or that thing, then the character never really fulfills a purpose, and he never writes that story, or he never ends that story. So most pen and paper role-playing groups, and same with Football Manager saves, this is where I come from, they just go on forever, until they fizzle out. But fizzling out is not the way a story is created. So, for a better story, it's much better if the manager ends his career at some point. Or, you know, if you cross the age of 100, it's probably okay to put a random process on it and just make the manager go away. And give him some sort of overview of his entire career. And if the player wants to, he can start a new save. But why should every manager age forever? Yeah. But, well, you were in management for a very long time, so whatever. Still managed in a lot of different in a lot of different clubs, probably, if you managed at all. So you're achieving basically nothing of note. I would argue that the manager in this situation was probably famous for traveling all around the world, and he was probably very much a polyglot, because he knew about 30 or 40 languages, if you did that. So, seen from that perspective, he did achieve something, didn't he? I have a reminder here. I should offer 4-week trials for some reason. There's a recommendation for a top target. No! Imbiri picked up some mixed personality traits from his mentoring group this month, collecting some positive influences as well as some negative ones. He is more focused on his game and less likely to bring controversy to the club. He's still spirited, okay? His standards of professionalism seem to have dropped and he's been cutting corners in training. What? What? And Arianto will rarely dribble with the ball. I think that's okay. As a central defender, I do not expect you to. This is really bad, by the way. Yeah, I will do. The problem is, you're probably not aware, so I will show you. This is the mentoring group here. This is by Imbiri. He was lighthearted prior to that. Lighthearted is not exactly a personality that screams, I am a very professional player. So I was like, okay, he trains like a beast. But, let's bring somebody in that we know that has good personality. Like Morgan Moody, for example, who was with us in Wales. Morgan Moody is rubbish as a player. He's 23 years old now. He's barely capable to play in our league. He's pacey, and sometimes he brings it to the pitch. But most of the times, he's just trying his best and it's not good enough. He is a model citizen though, so... Also, you can probably witness this here. He has good amount of resistance to pressure, and he's a very consistent performer. So, the one you bring into the club just to mentor your youngster. Which I did. So, now he's here to mentor the youngster. And Morgan Moody should have really great professionalism, given his personality. But apparently, Imbiri learned somewhere else. I don't know what's going on there. And Sima Tupong barely changed. To be fair though, I don't care much about him. I really just want Imbiri to have... I basically want him to be a model citizen too at some point. That's the gist. But, I don't know. Also, I think slapping players is not the right way to lead personnel. These days. You can't just go around slap your employees all the time. I think that's how it works. It's probably prohibited. Any excessive violence. Also slapping. Slapping is probably something that should be done between people that gave consent. Isn't he? I don't know. Is there some sort of story about Mourinho that I'm not aware of? Probably a ton of them. Does he slap his players or something? See, I didn't change the training. I'm so focused on inhaling chocolate, drinking water, and talking shit on a stream that I forgot to change the training. I know that feeling. I really know it. Let's have a look at this, just for a second. Apparently handling team discipline is at 100%. It seems like I might find them quite a lot. Which is, well, I usually give them an official warning, and if it's really bad, I start to find them. Some of them really have a problem with that. In particular, the ones with no professionalism whatsoever. I don't care much. It's just a friendly after all. Can we still change the training? No! Training's done. Nobody got hurt. We got lucky. So I will change the training here. Let's do it like this. Hopefully this is a little bit better. Then, yeah, it's all fine. Nothing will happen. Did he contribute accordingly? Did he contribute as much as you paid for him? I mean, it's Erling Haaland after all, but there's there's this random interval for every database of the potential ability. I think the interval is something like 50 points. So a player can be just fine. Hi Rude, welcome back. Bargain, yeah. In the case of Haaland, it was really easy to see that, I think even back when he was with Salzburg. He was just so dominant, even in Champions League, back when they played there. Or was it Champions League at all? It might have been qualifiers or something. But we know for sure that he put all of these teams to the knife, more or less. Really interesting to see his career overall. And I guess it's no surprise that somebody like this ends up with Man City at some point. I'm just glad it was not Bayern. So tell me about what's been going on with you, because we will probably need to sit through all of this for a while. And given my recent experiences on the stream, I'm really bad at singing and I'm really bad at rapping, and I'm not so sure what to tell otherwise, other than talking about this save all day. Yeah, will do. To be fair, they bought him at his peak, more or less. At least statistically speaking. We don't know about Harry Kane in particular, but I think strikers in Football Manager do tend to peak around 29 to 34 or something. So I guess this is the time slot where they have good physical attributes still, they prior to declining a little bit, but have the maximum technical skills and well, mental awareness of what's going on the pitch. So there's some sense in this, that strikers do tend to peak around there. It's not true for all of them though. And in particular with Bayern Munich, well, I just hope they include him in a way that is suited for Harry Kane. Malik is very awkward in his... Oh, he did play as a defensive midfielder. That's really friggin' fantastic. That's really good. My record, this installment of Football Manager, as well as this playthrough, because I only did one, was Ishak Al-Holmström. If I can find him. There he is. He's a free agent right now. I would love to bring him in. Back with Jede Hogdals. We signed him here. And these 2 seasons he was with us. So that's approximately 20 goals per season in approximately 28 matches. That doesn't look that impressive, but he basically outscored everyone in the league. And to be fair, there were other people in the club at this point that also scored like 10 or 15 goals within the season. So it was really well distributed. All throughout, not the strikers only, but in particular the midfielders. So he opened up space for the others too. And seen from that perspective, I consider this to be 30 or 40 goals overall. His contribution was really good. Because he played as some sort of target man and just drew... drew away the other defenders? I guess that's the way to phrase it, yes. So there were gaps in defense that were exploited by the midfielders. In our 4-2-3-1, I think that we did play a 4-3-3, but whatever. The midfielders had a good time. But 82 goals, that's way out of my reach. I never managed to do that. In my defense, I usually play saves with lower league teams that are in dire financial circumstances. I seem to have a fable for lost causes, I guess. So, yeah, that's very much what I like to do. It's not a fable in English, is it? Fable is something completely different. It's a favor. I seem to favor lost causes. Maybe the right way to put it. Oh. Oh. Well. So he contributed very much, but the rest of them didn't keep up with it, performance-wise. So the argument is basically you should have spent more on the remainder of the team for them to be able to cope defensively or something. Well, given that he scored 82 goals, probably chance creation wasn't that much of a problem, right? So I guess you didn't find the correct balance to it's about risk management in the end. Maybe scoring 60 or 70 within this season, but conceding less would have been preferable. 5 or 6 per game, yeah, okay. That's really absurd. I seem to remember well, that wasn't with a club that I did manage, but I seem to remember that a few installments ago, a Football Manager, I managed, I don't know, random English club, I guess. And I was appointed national coach of the Netherlands, which I did for like 2 weeks, and then I threw it all out because I hate international management in Football Manager. I really don't like it. I kept the scouting knowledge though. And the star player of the Netherlands was some sort of 30-year-old striker that was a new gen at that point. That 30-year-old striker scored like 50 goals per season in Germany. I was like, what the hell? Where does he play? He played with Schalke. Schalke 04 or 04 in Germany. And Schalke won the Champions League for the last 10 years with that striker. And I was like, this is highly unrealistic. Schalke being in League 1 for starters, and then some guy from the Netherlands that can outscore everyone just remaining with Schalke all the time. This means, welcome to the stream by the way, just a friendly Canadian. This means that the owner will step down and somebody else will own the club. So you've got a new boss, if you are the manager of this club. And the new boss might decide that he wants to go in another direction, or the new boss might decide that they stick with you. It usually means that whatever you did, well, if you did something well, and the old owner was looking very favorably on you, this means that you get a clean slate, if they keep you. That's how I interpret it, yes. Well, buying, it's not necessarily buying the club though, is it? The owner is just no longer in charge, I think. And if it depends a little bit. If there's some sort of board with like 10 members, then it just means that somebody else in the board will take up the reins, basically. So it's not necessarily due to a sale, but it might contain a monetary transaction. Especially for lower league clubs, there's usually one owner, and somebody else just buys the club. But you might have noticed that from other messages. If this is the first time this comes up, it also usually includes some sort of drawn-out process where the club might get sold or not. So the owner wants to get away, go away. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So it might not include a sale, but it's somewhat similar. And this is one of these situations where you might get fired for no reason whatsoever. Just because somebody else takes over the club and wants to go in a different direction. It might also be one of these occasions where, you know, you are, for example, you have been judged on playing defensive football, possession-based football, and, I don't know, playing youngsters. Something like this. And the new owner comes in and tells you, yeah, I like direct football, by the way, and attacking football, so I expect you to do that going forward. It's rare that this happens, but sometimes it happens. Yes. And given that the owner is your boss, more or less, you will face somebody else. And whatever you did in the past probably doesn't matter much to them. They're like, okay, this is the last 5 years that you managed this club, and thank you very much for winning, I don't know, getting us promoted and winning Champions League or something. We have new expectations, and this is what you will do going forward. Just as it is with a new boss. They might also be perfectly fine with you doing just what you were doing previously. Or they're like, I have a friend that wants to take over the management. Thank you very much for your service, get the fuck out the door. But it's not like you can do anything about this. It's just random stuff that happens. I guess just like in real life, right? Sometimes you don't make an error or something. Sometimes it's just freak accidents and somebody else making a decision that you may agree with or not. Yeah. Sure, that stuff happens. So I hope that helps. But it's nothing to be anxious of. Change is part of life. So if that means that the club, for example, that you managed for 10 years, and that has been your home in Football Manager, will fire you for no reason, then just move on. Like in real life. It's just a job at a company in the end. And whilst loyalty and this romantic sort of Walt Disney-like relationship with a club seems really great, in the end it's about what you do with it and how you move on. And people are so anxious about change all the time. I hope I don't get fired anytime soon in real life, because I like my job. But in the end, if somebody decides otherwise, then I have to move on and do something else. And I guess that's okay. Well, the state of the owner, he's trying to find somebody that will take the club, yes. So he's looking for somebody to buy it. He might not find anyone. The biggest gripe that you probably have with that throughout this period, so prior to getting this behind you, if you can, the biggest problem is this usually prohibits player sales. They're like, okay, the value of this club is, I don't know, 200,000 euros. If it's a lower league club or some sort of figure in the millions, whatever, or billions. And they're like, okay, somebody needs to pay this. And we need to sell this with all the current player material in place. Because if you start doing transfer business right now, we cannot really put a pin on the amount of value that the club has. So to make sure that we know the exact value of the club, you are prohibited from doing business right now. And sometimes this means if you have a drawn-out process for like 11 months, nobody will come into the club and nobody will go. And you're like, I cannot sign players for the new season. And everybody's like, yeah, but you got your old targets and your old players. Just move on with it. It's not much is happening. And you're like, I cannot develop the youngsters. I cannot, I don't know, bring in replacements. Nothing happens. And they're like, yeah, just wait a second. We will sell the club. And sometimes this can be a really drawn-out process. I'm not sure. I think this is just different ways to relinquish control of the club. So a board takeover, for example, would be if the majority of the board is well, the board is basically people that own the club, right? So if the chairman and members of the board, well, the chairman is usually the one that represents the majority of the stakeholders, if I'm not mistaken. So a board takeover would be something like the chairman plus, say the chairman has 51% of the shares in the club. A board takeover would be something like he sells 5% of these shares. Because then another board member can get the majority of the shares in the club. So in that sense it is different, but it's a very similar process, if that makes sense. But I'm getting into areas where I'm not so sure how it works in real life and how it's implemented in Football Manager. I think I understand it, but I might have something wrong there. But just outright buying the entire club, usually, you know, you buy 100% of the shares, right? Or the entire club, whatever. It does not have to be public. Maybe, yes. It's quite it's unconclusive from the wording. Listening to offers might mean that they sell 5%, but listening to offers might also mean that if a good offer comes in, they sell all of it. And usually it means they sell all of it. So this is a heads up that the club will be sold and that you will have a new boss. And that their expectations and circumstances might be vastly different. In some cases, so I don't know, assuming you manage some sort of rubbish club somewhere with a broke-ass chairman and nobody supporting you, in some cases some sort of sugar daddy might come in. You're Manchester United. Well, in that case, it's the other way around. Somebody's finally trying to get rid of this club and make some money off it. You are insanely poor. Well, okay. So there's no way to phrase this in a nice manner. Did you ruin the club financially? Is this what happened throughout your reign, or did it happen prior to that? I'm not asking to be a troll. It's just, I don't know. Did you manage for the last 5 seasons and they went into the red more and more? Okay, so it's unlikely that you are responsible. Just a guess. Is there some sort of clause that says repair the financial damage? Well, not. It's an expectation. Is there some sort of expectation that says repair the financial damage to the club until the end of season XYZ? Because usually this is what happens. Yeah, well, you can win the Europa League all you want and have some success. If it's expected for you to repair the financial damage, yeah, exactly. So you won the Europa League, which is good, because it brings in money. But if you spend so much on winning the Europa League, that in the end the club is ruined financially, they'll be like, yeah, we won the Europa League back in that season, so this is great. But now we gotta make up for it for another 20 seasons until we repair that financial damage. So depending on the perspective of the chairman or the fans or whomever, that's a good thing or a bad thing, right? So they might be like, okay, he won the Europa League, this is great, let's keep that manager, fuck the money. Or the other way around. And I cannot speak for them. In Football Manager, this is probably random, depending on the attributes and on the preferences of the chairman or the board. Me, for example, I very much appreciate a season that prints some money, because long term this translates to success. Now, if you bring in the success right now, but the club is ruined financially, then this means that you cannot repeat that success next season, because budgets will get tighter and tighter, and at some point you're done. That, or you're managing some sort of, I don't know, you either have an oil baron in the background, or good luck with that. You might want to get to know Mies, one of the regular watchers of the stream. Mies is managing in Brazil, and he manages a club that is also very much in depth, and he's repeatedly forced to sell his best players, bring in youngsters, and try to do well in Brazil in the league, whilst reducing the financial damage to the club, and he's got another 20 years to go or something like this. Yeah. I don't know, what's the amount of money you spend on players? Just regular wage. What's the amount of money you spend on those per year? Because given that you are Manchester United, you're basically printing money just being in the Premier League. So this shouldn't be much of a problem if you do not overspend on everyone all the time. He turned 17, he's got a professional contract. 3.8 million, that's not much, is it? So it's more about, well, 3.8 million, is this per year or per whatever? I'm not aware of Premier League wages. I mostly manage a lower league stuff. So I'm probably not the perfect person to talk to this about anyway. But so the suggestion here would be, so you did well. So you did repair some of the financial damage. They might still argue it hasn't been enough, but so overall you're good from that perspective. So in fact, this means you did a good job. Or it means money gets printed at Man United, and you didn't, I don't know, you didn't go out and buy another player for 100 million. Because you, I don't know, wanted to gamble on one asset. So from that perspective, here we are. It might, but sometimes the way they clear the debt is by taking on another loan. So, especially if you pay high interest rates, like, I don't know, do I know any of these clubs? Yeah, so you did do a good job from that perspective. I have the same, not with millions, but with 270k. And Yeah, I'm not responsible for all of this, by the way. I'm responsible for it, I guess, since here, somewhere. So, as you can see, getting promoted to League 1 really helped us here, financially. That said, we are in decline now. And I did spend on some players after getting promoted to League 1. Basically buying youngsters. Is that a good idea? I don't know. Yes. Yes. But it really depends on your goals. This is not about what Football Manager dictates anymore. If Man United, if the board are happy with you being in, I don't know, top 4 in Premier League, and you have a team to achieve that, and you can get that for cheap, that's success. It's how you might define success. Or say you underperform according to the board, but they would be willing to retain you anyway because you repaired the financial damage. So they are happy with mid-table. Yeah, that's appropriate given the circumstances. So if the team isn't as good, try to develop players that can get better whilst retaining mid-table. Or above, obviously. Nobody will complain if you achieve more. That has a lot to do with looking at their potential and giving them the correct training and personalities, really. Because if you've got free casual players in the squad, well, you know how it works. So, but if you repair the financial damage alongside it, I would call that a success. They are unhappy because they don't think Rooney the Wonder Kid for 7.5 million. But that's peanuts for you, right? 7.5 million is peanuts for you, same as and selling for 68. That contributes something, so it's really good. It's a good transfer. But you gotta repeat that over and over again. And in particular, also including clauses that might bring in additional money in the future. And if you repeat that over and over again, at some point you will start to print money. All the time. Because there's so much stuff going on. I don't do international coaching, so I will not recommend doing that. Also, Indonesia is really weird. That's probably not a fair way to put it. Indonesia is okay so far. It's just interesting rules and stuff. You might have noticed I'm from Germany, so I'm not very familiar with Premier League players. I can't judge that. But I don't know about the quality of these two, right? But if they are same quality level, or Mitchell is slightly below but might develop into something that Shaw was, that might be okay. Be careful though. There's something called new manager syndrome. You probably know that. And if you replace too many of the existing players and replace them all with youngsters, you might really go down just because you change too much. So, okay, yeah, that's great. So this is a drawn-out process sometimes. And sometimes a player that looks worse on paper I never managed in Brazil. As I said, you should talk to Mies about that. He's on our Discord, so you might tag him there. I'm not sure if he's still doing his save though. Yeah, great. Great. Still, I think the point stands. Sometimes you can overdo it, and then there's no stability in the team anymore. So that can be a problem. Alright, we didn't praise the training last time out, so we might as well do it today. Let's talk to the players about training. Because apparently Mbiri still trains like a beast. Arianto does well, Ari does well. Simon Owen does well. This is all really great. Thank you very much. Yeah. Quadiolis. I still remember that one scene where he tackled Mavropanos in Stuttgart. In a way that made Mavropanos swear in Greek for 5 minutes. So, I'm not exactly fond of that player, but he's probably a good signing. As far as I can tell. I don't know, I usually play with all of the leagues. Oh, are we talking about enabling leagues on the database, or are we talking about where to go? Scottish 4th Division, yeah. Do it! Northern Ireland is also really, really nice at that point of the year. I don't know. Well, if you're talking about adding leagues to the database, be aware that, well, these leagues were not loaded previously, so I have no idea what Football Manager does to this, to the database. I'll just show you. So this is running on a 13-year-old CPU, so it's really slow anyway, but I have basically half of the world loaded in this database. Just not to have this problem. Here it is. Well, this is all playable, or more or less, yeah. So as you can see, I slightly do more than the recommended limit. I usually do it that way, that I just start with all of the leagues and suffer through the longer processing times. That said, your hardware is probably way better than mine, so it might not be that much of a problem. You know, streaming to 2 people doesn't earn you money. The MLS, I never managed there. But it sounds like torture, yes. There's all of these rules with the MLS, isn't it? Oh. That's one of our youngsters that got called up for the internationals. Well, that's good. Sure. Get us updates.
Thanks for the follow.
Thank you very much. Not sure if I deserve that, but it's much appreciated. Have a nice watch, I guess. Oh. Have fun watching it. There's an episode on YouTube about what? Oh, they're involved with another match. Yeah, okay. There's an episode here on YouTube with or maybe 2 Thank you very much for that one too. That also much appreciated, obviously. But this episode contains me signing players for the new season with the Hockdals IK after being promoted to Season 2, to League 2 in Sweden. Now, the gap between League 3 and League 2 is really big, skill-wise. So I really needed those signings. Also, there was no transfer window in the winter, and the transfer window was declared later on. So I wasn't aware how it worked. And good. So this means his mentals and his technicals are all 20 now. Now, to be more serious about it, sometimes the rules break your neck. Because we signed a really good central defender and a really good striker, from my perspective, and they were just not available because they were coming in the next transfer window, in the summer transfer window, and we went down without a trace. Starting in League 2, after getting the club promoted 2 times. So, the players are still with the Hockdals IK. They went down to League 4 again after firing me. So, or our manager, whatever. League rules can be really annoying. These are not available. Under 18s are available though. Should we bring along 2 players from the under 18s? Like some random strikers. Are you any good? Oh, fairly pro, yeah. We'll bring you along. You cannot play for the club though. Hidayatullah is not that hard to pronounce. It's really hard to shout though. After scoring goals and stuff. Okay, I need to take a short break. Just walk 5 meters, and I'll be back in 1.5 minutes or something. See you on the other side. I'm not aware about the circumstances in Scotland, other than that you need to learn a new language being over there, given the way they pronounce things. No, to be a bit more serious, I'm really not aware of what's going on with Queen's Park Rangers or something. Just look it up. I probably failed that one. Let me have a look. Swiss Challenge League. Okay. They are from Liechtenstein, so I guess wherever they are, they can probably not get relegated, can they? This is just me spitballing, I don't know. But So my assumption is that they are included in Switzerland and that they cannot get relegated from whatever league they are in because one club from Liechtenstein needs to be included in Switzerland or something like this. Is this how it works? Oh. That is okay. That is somewhat different. It does have to do with the country though, doesn't it? Yeah, but that makes sense. Because they might win the cup in Switzerland, get the Europa League spot and so on and so forth. And they do not get their spot because Liechtenstein does not have any spots for Europa League or Champions League. So they don't deserve those because the country doesn't deserve them. That's a stupid rule set, but it's the way it works. Anyway, let's go through this match, will we? So match sharpness has been dropping slightly. So I think we'll play the first team actually. Oh no, I will not throw them all off. Verdiancia is not first team to me though. Okay, let's go through this. So Arianto, yeah, I think Arianto is to be considered first team. Haryanto, Yulianto, maybe. Simatupang, I would prefer Malik actually. For now. Due to higher skill, but also from other perspective. These two are first team members to me. And very much want them to play. In particular, because I think they should get used to their positions. Tabuni is also not a natural yet. Moody, I don't think so. On the other hand, what's the alternative? The alternative is Zico. So let's bring on Zico. Ishadare is fine in attacking midfield. I really do not want to overplay Imbiri, even though I very much like him. Verdiancia is not the primary choice on that wing. Who is though? Arias. I realized that Arias is not very good right now out there. But I want to develop Ari into something useful out there, if I can. It's probably overdoing it, don't tell me. Yeah, and then Cesar. So, given that most of these can do with additional sharpness, he may as well play them. So that's the first team. We also play against a 4-2-3-1 apparently, and I really do not want to do opposition instructions right now. I'm just annoyed by doing them. This is a friendly after all, let's not do it. So, let's grab some water. Don't forget to hydrate, guys. And gals, if there's any watching this, which usually they aren't. This friendly is now watchable because Tabuni starts. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. We're favorites, I want us to win this. Apparently Cesar has some sort of ambition. And we will encourage them all. That's it. Go. Well, it was a nice dribble and that's it. They have really nice stadiums in Indonesia though. Even the lower league clubs, or the non-league ones. I mean, look at this. There's spectators, fans for some reason, watching us play. Cesar, Tabuni, Ari. Okay, it's something. Zico wins back the ball, cuts inside, cross, Cesar. That's a good save. So Kipto takes the free kick. Isha. Shadow striker with a header. Did I mention that Isha is really tall? For Indonesia anyway. 14 points of jumping reach on a shadow striker. He could be target man after all. Good stuff. That's not a tight offside. That's not even close. Barely, Zico. You barely managed to close him down. Not a bad lob. Well defended by Malik. Yulianto. Haryanto. And another long ball. Ari is really pacey and not that small. This time though, he lost out on the duel. Who's this? That's Tabuni. All the way up front. Well done by Yulianto. Tabuni, Sukipto. Good ball, Zico. Ah. Zico seems motivated for some reason. Just a friendly. 3 minutes in and we had a lot of highlights. Malik, that's nothing. Isha finds Malik again. Malik's cross. Cesar. All of these hitters will at one point they will pay off. Hopefully within the regular matches. What a pass by Tabuni, by the way. Really good. Ari. He's not one to play through balls, at least according to his traits. It did look slightly different. And Zico's on a 7.0 rating now. So Kipto takes a free kick. Yulianto doesn't win the header. Whatever that was. Now it's an offside. Oh, Pratama was obstructed by Ari, sure. Well, seen from the perspective of goals scored, we're fine. If we look at the expected goals, this is okay. That's one for Owen to claim. What the hell, Owen? I guess the intent was a counter-attack. Haryanto, Tabuni, Ari. Ari. Cesar. Towards Zico. Zico cuts inside as usual. Isha. Second goal of the friendly, second goal for Isha, 16 minutes in. I think he wants to be a regular starter, once the season fires back up. Also, Zico, really great play. And Isha is just in the opposition area as a shadow striker should be. He has a trait for that, and it really shows. So, I'm very happy with that. I wouldn't even call this overloading the middle. Skipto, Malik. Expected goals is at 0.7 and we are 2 goals in front. Zico. Arianto. Oh, Ari. Offside. Well, I feel like I want to praise them already. Malik, Sakipto, Malik's cross, Cesar wins the header. We should do better with these chances. Everybody seems to be happy. Big problem would be complacency after these matches. Rumbiak's cross. That's a weird way to do things, but it worked out. Ari... Oh, Cesar doesn't win the header. That would have been a really great scene. Oh, Arianto, why? You know better. Well, you should know better. Maybe that's a language barrier. It's Owen's job to communicate this kind of stuff after all. Isha on an 8.5 rating. Sukipto. Malik's cross. Ari's header. Good save. Gotta give him that. Malik takes another corner. In swinging corner. Far post. Nothing happened. Zico. He's in position, out on the wing. Cutting inside, as instructed. Sukipto. Arianto. Central defenders way past the midfield line. Malik's cross. Nothing for Zico. And we take the throw in. This was 5 minutes to grab a beer, at least in the stadium. Zico. Arianto. The goalkeeper is probably their best player for now. He's on a 6.4 rating though, so I guess that's wrong. Isha. Arianto. That's offside, isn't it? Or not. Arianto. Arianto's long ball finds Cesar, who's unable to control it. Zico in the penalty area. Zico, what a pass. Tabuni roofing it. Man. Well defended for now. Oh, Zico, not a good tackle. Ah, that's easy for Owen to get to. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but Owen has long brown hair in the match engine. He's a blonde guy with short hair, according to the picture. Zico. Isha. Hattrick by Isha. 40 minutes into the match. I guess we start Isha for the next league match if he keeps performing like this. What a fantastic performance. This will teach Mbiri to wait for his spot. Really great. And I'm not even sure, I think 2 of the goals were headers. So this is something that Isha does bring to the table. Mbiri doesn't. That's not well done. Intercepting the ball there, that is. So good job by Malik. That shouldn't be a problem. Julianto's long ball finds Cesar, and his pass towards Isha was not good. Isha's tackle is though. Cesar, will there be some sort of killer ball? Finds Zico. Zico. Dangerous pass. All comes to nothing though. 42 minutes into the match. Totally dominating it. Didn't give away a single real chance. And that one again could have ended in the back of the net. Isha seems kind of tired now. Arianto will take a free kick. Okay, it's over. So we'll play him another, I don't know, 10-20 minutes in the second half. Isha, that is. And also Cesar. And afterwards we will go with somebody else. It's all fine. Not much to tell. Rombiak, Pratama. And that's well intercepted. So Kipto, Zico, Malik. Julianto again, Tabuni. Tabuni's ball finds Zico. Zico with a wonderful pass towards Ari. Ari goes for goal and hits the only one that's in the way. Props for them though, or to them, for trying to include Ari. So he can finally score a goal too. Tabuni. Another one of these pitch-splitting passes. Zico. Zico! I'm really happy with them. This is fantastic. So Zico's as well as Isha's performance, this is hard to get otherwise. Tabuni loses out on that duel. Come on, tackle him, tackle him, tackle him, tackle him. There it is. Arianto. Not a bad pass. I have a hard time pulling Isha as well as Zico off the pitch in these circumstances. They are doing great. Tabuni. Ari. Ari's killer balls are basically non-existent most of the time. Isha. Sukipto. Will he take the shot? No, he does. Whoa. Nice idea. Finds Malik out on the wing. Zico. Zico's cross, Ari's header, and it's over. That's something that's really representative, I think, of the squad at this point. Most of the players stand a chance of winning a heading duel within the penalty area. We're really trying to sign the tall players and the good jumpers overall. Well done. Isha, Tabuni, Ari. Ari runs down the left. Arianto does. Tabuni again. Tabuni's lob over opposition defense, and that's just a low-grade chance for Cesar. Arianto will take that free kick. That doesn't help. Facing the counter-attack now. Past midfield line. That's offside, isn't it? It is. What a pity. Also, let's bring on someone else, or somebody else. So, I think Didik Iskandar is one of the more... I'm hopeful for him, but he needs to develop some sort of physical prowess. He's match fit though, so no use bringing on the under 18s. Same here. Also trying to be a shadow striker. I guess we didn't do that then. Given these circumstances, we will just play those that need some time on the pitch. Yeah, and apparently this is these players here. And everybody else really. Might as well rotate heavily. Nugro for Tabuni. Simatupang for Malik. Alim can play. I guess Isvantoro can play. Where's Infantry? Infantry can play for Sukipto. And now we still have a striker to substitute, so that's Walsh. And who else? Substitute for Ari, so I guess that's Ferdiancia. Sure, why not? We substitute everyone. And for some reason they all seem to be motivated and inspired. I don't think that's fair. So this is basically the B team. Well done by Infantry. Same for Moody. What a ball towards Mbiri. Just over. Isha would have converted that one probably, in this match at least. Everybody has some problems with the pace of the match. Alim gets a yellow. That's not good. Nugro loses out on... Well, okay. Not much happened there. Still, Nugro losing the ball is not good. I don't know. A playmaker shouldn't lose the ball. Should be perfectly capable to find a passing option, in particular given that the central defenders were available. It's really boring passing, but this is just what's needed sometimes. Nugro again. Nugro finds Utama. Utama's not fast. Utama's a good passer though. Ferdiancia, Mbiri. Mbiri. Well, it's something. Arya takes a long kick for Isvantoro. Ferdiancia runs down the left wing. Nugro. That idea wasn't bad. Nugro passing it towards Utama for Utama to run, though, is probably some sort of misunderstanding. Utama's not good running and Nugro is not that not that good passing. So, the combination of those two probably amplified the fact that this didn't happen. Barely. Utama taking the corner. Nobody hitting the target though. Ferdiancia. Utama runs back into position. Simatupang. Isvantoro. Halim. Isvantoro again. Utama. Utama's a good passer. Infantry. Ferdiancia. Well done. And Morgan Moody scores the 4th goal of the match. So it seems like Morgan Moody can put the ball into the back of the net after all. I just had an idea though. And that's a really weird one. So, Nugroho is not the best playmaker, given his, in particular his technical limitations. I just realized that Utama has really good passing and technique overall. He also has decent crossing, and he has really good mentals, if I'm not mistaken. So that's something that I need to be reminded of after the match. I want to look at Utama, and I want to find out if Utama has any traits. I think let's do that right now. No, he has no traits whatsoever. Also no balance whatsoever, but I'm starting to think maybe Utama can be taught to be playmaker. I mean, this role doesn't contain anything but a bit of balance. And otherwise, he's set for it. Interesting choice. Very interesting choice. Nothing happened of it though. Can those guys do a little bit better? Sima Tupang, Infantry. Sima Tupang again with the cross. Ferdiancia. Top netting. Bad header. Five minutes to go. Nugroho, Halim. Infantry. Infantry with a long ball. Moody should be pretty fast. He isn't though. Halim well intercepted. Imbiri. Imbiri didn't score yet. Probably not in a good mood given the performance of Isha. He knows what that means. Ferdiancia. Utama. Moody. Moody with a header. On goal, but not in the goal. "25 shots. 11 on target. Isvantoro wins the header. Santoso. There's a gap there. There's a big gap there. And that's a waste of a chance. So overall we can be happy with that result, I think. Utama's throw in, Halim, Nugroho, Utama again. Good pass by Utama, Walsh, Nugroho. Good long ball. Not good enough though. Susanto, Halim, Moody. That's it. That's the match. 4-0. Friendlies against lower league teams, sure. That was good. And we did what we came to do. So overall, I think that's fine. Our under 21 suffered a defeat apparently. That's no good. Sitting at 0 points in whatever that is. Oh, this is a group stage for whatever the league does. I realized there's some sort of weird system there. Yeah, but about the Utama case. For now, he's wingback on support duty, and this is rubbish at this point. So, assuming though that he doesn't know how to play in defensive midfield, though, not at all. I just want to see this. Sorry. for a playmaker backup, that would be okay. So we'll try to play him there in case Nugroho is not on the bench. That's something that I need to come up with from time to time. Occasions where Utama can play for another 10 minutes or 15 in deep lying playmaker position for Tabuni. So seen from that perspective, Utama has a chance to remain with the club after all. If only he had better personality, but on the other hand, he's 34 too. So, yeah, strictly a backup. But I'm happy with the performances for these two friendlies. That's okay. So we'll have another friendly going forward. That said, I think that's enough for today. I had some fun doing this. Thank you very much for keeping me company. And I will see you all next time, probably. Last stream prior to me not being available for 1.5 weeks is on Monday, so tomorrow. Have a nice remainder of the Sunday, and you know, see you either here on Twitch or on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Bye.